semi-final of the main event. Clint, Declan Brennan. Clint, Declan Brennan, table 1.
So good evening and welcome back to the action. This is semi-final of the main event, and it's Declan Brennan having won the lag. He breaks off in the first frame. He is playing Clint, and I'm joined on commentary by Matt Briley. How you doing, Matt?
Not too bad, Nick. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thanks. And I'm really looking forward to this game. It's not quite the start I expected. Having watched Declan a couple of times over this weekend, he looks absolutely at the top of his game. He was very good against Lee Kendall. Probably should have won 7 frames to 1. Obviously, one positional error. He's got over the line 7 frames to 4. Clint, another very tough opponent. And,
yeah, it certainly is.
Mentioned to Declan just on commentary, I'm sure they would have played each other sometime in the past, and Declan doesn't think they have. He can't remember a time when they played each other, so an interesting matchup.
Yeah, I guess that's partly because Clint obviously plays the black ball rules, and Declan's more world rules and ultimate, so yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I wouldn't like to pick a winner on this one. I think that break that Dex did just then, Lee Kendall would have liked that in the last match. You've done a nice little comeback though, and you got from 6-1 to 6-4, and Deck just did the perfect break, really, didn't he?
Yeah. He broke brilliantly in that last match, which is why I said at the top that I didn't expect to see that from him. But a decent first chance for Clint, and if Deck plays or recreates any of the kind of form he's been on over the weekend, then Clint really is going to have to play well. And I expect this to be a very high standard.
Yeah, what I've seen of Clint this year, he's been extremely solid. He doesn't let many chances slip. But he's bound to miss them when you say something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's inevitable.
I'm glad it wasn't me.
Yeah.
No, that is a surprising miss. I mean, actually still in control of the frame. The yellow down over this bottom left pocket is dictating that yellows are in charge at the moment.
I think Deck looks pretty perfect to knock it out first shot.
Yeah, great angle. Lovely. And just one simple shot just opens up the frame And that shot may have troubled some players, but he navigates it perfectly. And now back on track after dumping the cue ball. I think, as I said, I just think if Declan plays as he has been over the weekend, if he recreates the form that he did against Lee Kendall, then I think Clint can't afford too many missed balls and too many mistakes. He needs to punish from the outset.
Yeah, so he made it look effortless really against Lee. Everything was just pinpoint.
Across in the other semi-final, which has been ongoing for just over an hour, Sean Chipperfield leads Callum Singleton 5 frames to 4. I can't see Callum's at the table, but that frame's been going on a little while, so must be quite straightforward. So, having gone in off in the first frame, Declan would have feared the worst. But, he gets the second chance and he wins the frame. No further mistakes. And he's 1-0. Of course, the other event going on this weekend is the Jason Owen Open, and they now just got the last couple of games, but most of the last 16 already been decided. That's going to be back in action at 10:30 tomorrow morning. Jake McCartney will play Scott Pope. John McAllister will play Alex Lewis. Chris Day will play Oli Bell. Oli Bell having just knocked out Gareth Hibbert. Clint Hansen will play Greg Batten. Scott Gillespie will play the winner of Josh Kane and Declan Brennan. Ben Flatt will play Don Cooney, and Aaron Davis will play Carl Sutton. So there's still one match to be decided, which is Scott Yardley's 4-3 up against Jamie Mantle will play the winner of Callum Singleton and Steve Petty. Of course, there's some clashes still. Declan in action, Callum Singleton in action. So there's a couple of games still to be decided. But that's still... there's a formidable last 16 there.
Certainly is. Yeah, that Ollie Bale and Gareth Hibbert game, somebody just came over to me earlier on and said that apparently Ollie Bale was 3-1 with the bookies for that. Big odds, especially considering that Gaz wasn't using his own cue. He was using somebody's break cue.
Yeah.
Apparently his own cue's damaged at the minute.
But yeah, some huge names still in that draw. That will be played down to a final tomorrow. You'll be able to watch that right here. As I say, action gets going at 10:30 tomorrow morning. It's already been decided we're going to play the final of this tomorrow. It's just going to run on too late. Trying to play the final tonight. We're going to be starting around about midnight, and it's just not fair on the players after a very long day. So the final will be tomorrow morning, and that's going to start between 11 and 11:30. So just be ready for that tomorrow. That should be a great final. Whoever it is that makes that final, you won't want to miss the action.
Well, looks like that game's just finished there on the frame with Callum and Chippy. So I'm not sure who got that. Is it 5-5 or is it 6-4 now?
Not changed yet. Put on the score. We'll just wait for that score to change and we'll let you know.
I'd hazard a guess 6-4 just for the way that Callum walks off, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, a few tables still in action. There's a few people practicing, but there's still some competitive matches ongoing. But generally, most of the action is finished for the day. Just those last couple of games in the Jason Owen Open still outstanding. And that one other semi-final across on table 14.
Oh, it's not ideal.
No. What you give to take that again? Even with the kiss on the yellow, that just didn't have the pace it needed. You needed to get that out another 6 inches. And
Actually had a lot of room to play with there as well, because if he'd have come further it wouldn't have been too bad. He could have just checked it off the rail.
could have literally finished 2 foot to the right of where he is now. Suddenly this is a little bit tricky. May have to play a cannon. It's just looking at... Does he have to cannon into the red? And he did.
Oh, he's fouled.
He's called a foul on himself. What was that? Double hit or just?
I guess he's caught one of those yellows with his finger as he was queuing over him. It was very close.
So the score's just changed in that other semi-final. That's now 5 frames each.
5 each. Yeah. A very good shout there, Callum. It's a bit of a comeback. I know he was at least 5-3, if not more down.
Yeah, I think it was 5-2.
Yeah.
So just again, one positional error is almost certainly going to cost Declan this frame, and just a couple of small mistakes creeping in. He still needs to remain clinical.
You had any bets on this tournament?
Not really. Just a couple of accumulators, which, yeah, you know, the kind of like 6 folds, nothing special,
nothing.
just a couple of small interests. No luck. A lot of favourites have been winning over this weekend. You can see that from the strength of the last 16 in the Jason Owen, but also the last 16 when we arrived here at 9 o'clock this morning in this event. Both fields very strong. So both games tied. Sean Chipperfield at the table at 5 frames each. Declan Brennan breaking off at 1 frame each. You can see the players wanting to get the best vantage point for both games. Chris Dyson looking one way and then looking the other, trying to keep an eye on both games.
That's much more like how he has been breaking. Nice split there, and fancying to take these reds. A little bit of work to do, but mainly that little cluster down near the black spot.
Yeah, looking at that line, I don't think that red passes. Well, you can see it clearly doesn't pass.
Wondering if it goes maybe into the other corner pocket.
Yeah, once he clears the yellow at the bottom of the pack, which he's gone straight down for now, that would open the path for that red into the right corner. It's a good positional shot. He couldn't afford to be high, but he could afford to be low. So he's just erred on the side of caution. He can now just drop this red in. He's got... Yeah, that's okay. He can just stun the cue ball on and off the side cushion to leave the red through the gap. So 2 frames to 1 to Declan. And a very nice clearance. He's controlling the cue ball well, just playing everything with authority. But still on break. And Clint's going to break in frame number 4. Just struggling to get the pack to settle. And he's finally happy. His break probably has just been the weaker part of his game. He said in his interview earlier that he needed to get his break to work. And just as I say that,
He's lost the white.
disaster, yeah. Off the table.
Yeah.
So that's a cardinal sin, because you can see he just flies straight off the table. It just means he's got a little bit of topspin on the ball. The thing is, with that shot, you have to dig down into the cue ball. That's the only way you're going to keep it on the bed of the table. As soon as you part any kind of topspin on that break, the cue ball is straight off the table. And in this rule set is a cardinal sin, because a fouling off is only 1 visit, but off the table is 2. And of course, those 2 visits carry, so this could very quickly be 3 frames to 1 to Declan. This is a big frame. And just as I was saying about Clint's break being the weaker part of his game recently, we see it there. He's gone to that cut break now, isn't he? He seems to rely on it all the time. He used to always used to play from just off centre, if I remember, but he's changed now, and you almost see him exclusively using that cut break.
Yeah, not a fan really of the cut break. It's, I mean, it works, for some people, and I just don't feel you get the great splits with it. Maybe you avoid your white going in off, so it's probably not too bad from that point of view. But if you can, I won't say perfect the top ball break, but if you can get a decent top ball break, I'd always favour it.
Funnily enough, I remember discussing it with Declan Brennan. He hates the cut break. He's a big advocate for getting it banned. I can't say I particularly agree with that.
No, I'm not sure about that.
I think you need to be banning certain shots. I mean, if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. I mean, he's graced with such a great break anyway. I'm sure it's something that he's worked hard on, but he really does have a great, powerful front ball break that he times so well, so he doesn't need to rely on anything apart from his standard break, and quickly takes advantage of that Clint error. Now 3 frames to 1, and he'll also be breaking in frame number 5. So this is another game that you don't think it's going to be one-sided, but it could quickly get away from Clint. He needs to get frames on the board. He needs to keep the pressure on Declan, because if Declan gets 3 or 4 ahead, he's, the scoreboard pressure is then firmly on Clint, and Deck just has the freedom to express himself.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not careful, this is going exactly the same way as the Lee Kendall match, with Deck taking on a 5 or a 6-1 lead.
Yeah, Clint has to maintain pressure, as I mentioned. Keep that scoreboard ticking over on the left-hand side. And,
well, that yellow was going in and it just got a little nudge off the red just to take it away.
yeah.
Not straightforward though. Tricky little layout here for Clint, but one good shot. He could open up that yellow at the bottom of the table and all of a sudden be on. He's just not happy with the angle that he's got at the minute. I think he's just a little bit too straight. He'd have to force the angle. Yeah, we're trying to force it. He's just missed it slightly. Just off to his right hand side. He's just trying to just sneak that a little bit more angle than what was actually there. Again, they're not easy for deck, but any chance at the minute seems doable.
Yeah, after a dry break, be happy to be back at the table and just be able to get some kind of foothold. I think he was just looking at a thin snickle on the cushion. That could be the right shot because he's probably going to put some cover across on this bottom left pocket and maybe cannon the other ball a little bit closer to the left-hand side pocket as well. Could put cover across both of the yellows here. But it's a thin cut. He doesn't have to cut it too thin because he doesn't need to find the pocket. He just needs to find the cushion. Just put some cover across the yellow that's there. I think is he going to play the cannon? He's going to play the yellow.
It looks like. I'm surprised he is. But,
yeah. Oh. Obviously going on the attack there. You fancied. I mean, and why not? I mean, 3-1 ahead and just feeling probably like he can just take on any clearance on the table at the moment. So.
Yeah, I fancied him to go for it, but I thought he would have just taken the ball on the left-hand side, thin, gone up the table, and then gone for him and left the one that was on the bottom rail until his last ball.
Deck trying to get down the table, leave himself a angle on this yellow to bottom right to then screw across and get this difficult ball out. You just see a tap on the leg from Declan, appreciating that positional shot from Clint. But this is still tough.
It is. Do you think there's an argument here maybe for doubling it rather than getting it out? I mean, I don't think he's looking like he's going to try and get it out, but...
I mean, it's a nice shot to get the yellow out, but you're always trusting to luck a little bit where the cue ball went, and he hasn't had any.
I just thought maybe if he just left his white on the bottom rail, he could have played the back double, possibly get the coverage if he didn't get the pot, but he could have controlled where his white went then, you know, to try and leave himself on the middle or the one in the corner.
So just touching on your game, well, Clint's thinking about this shot. I mean, you've been making some pretty deep runs yourself in a lot of events recently. I've seen your name in the latter stages of the Challenger series, and also in this one as well. You've
I've had the odd decent run in this and been doing pretty well in the Challenger.
Yeah.
So I've been playing all right. Oh, that's a nice shot there from Clint.
just keep knocking on the door.
I do, yeah. Unfortunately, it's not quite opening yet, but I think the way I'm playing at the minute, I fancy I will be picking something up pretty soon, to be honest. But
excellent, good to hear.
yeah, and I certainly need to at the last Challenger one, because it's the top 8 that go through, to be professional next year.
Yeah,
And I'm 8th at the minute, so
you're 8th?
yeah, so that's
Wow.
got to have a good run really at the last one.
So you're hoping to either, I mean, a win would obviously cement your position. A semi-final could possibly, depending on
Yeah, I think it would.
who else gets there.
Yeah.
But even, a reasonable finish, and then you could be hoping for somebody to win a second title. Obviously,
Exactly.
Eddie Barker
Yeah,
had
that's
a deep run in the last one, and I thought there'll be some people hoping that Eddie wins 2 here, because that obviously opens the door to somebody else.
Yeah.
You've done well, actually, because I think people were looking at the stats and saying that it's probably going to be the 8 winners that go through, but you've kind of defied that.
Yeah, that's it. It's
You must have played really consistently then to be able to get into 8th position. So you're obviously ahead of some. No, you would be ahead of. So we've had 6, haven't we? So there's 6 winners, and they're taking the top 6 spots. Who's 7th? Do you know?
7th is Luke Gilbert, I think.
Okay, yeah, he had a really good weekend in the first weekend.
Yeah, he's had a couple of good runs, I think. Yeah, it's a big difference between getting that win and getting the runner-up. Like I came runner-up of the first one, and if you get the win, you've doubled your points. You're on 3,000 instead of 1,500.
Yeah.
So quite a difference.
Oh wow! So just a couple of consistent performances in the good thing is you kind of get 2 bites at the cherry, don't you? So if you have a bit of a stinker, then you can turn it round, or you're just hoping to get deep in both, and then you probably cement your position.
Yeah, which is a bit like it was at the last one. So I went out in the last 32 at the last one, but didn't particularly do much wrong, to be honest. Played Ian Whitehorn, and he played superb, but then managed to get to the quarters of the next one and just went out in a decider. So it was a bad effort.
And that's a big deal. Going pro next year as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
the difference between
definitely.
Challenger and pro next year, you'll be in an exclusive 48 with, you assume, some decent prize money added, or you'll be in a field of 256 scrapping for a top 8 place.
That's it. Yeah. Definitely.
Big
Be
difference.
nice to get on that pro side.
So Clint successful this time with his break, and made a ball, and looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's a very nice recovery that from Clint in the last frame. It's a great double that he pulled out.
Yeah. So please do like and share our stream. If you're on YouTube, it's just one click. Just click on the thumbs up button that you see just at the bottom of your screen. And also if you're watching on Facebook, it's also one click, just the like button. And also if you get the chance, there is a share button there as well, which you can share our stream on social media. You'll be doing us a great favour if you just take the extra 20 seconds that would take you to do that. It increases our exposure on social media. We're closing in on 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do so, and in return you'll get a notification every time we go live.
Looks like the other semi-finals finished now.
Well, that was a quick finish, so I just took my eye off the ball on that one for a moment, and I can tell you that Sean Chipperfield's won 8 frames to 6. So Sean Chipperfield in Yet another final. And he's been the nearly man recently.
Yeah, he's playing very well at the minute.
He really is, but as well as he's playing, he'll be really frustrated in the fact that he's not picked up a trophy.
Yeah, he made the final of the Jason Owen last time out, I think.
Yeah. I mean, he really has been, making waves. He's been making semi-finals and deep runs. Little shake of the head there from Clint.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that red only goes to the left top pocket. And if it does, it's a strange choice of shot. Yeah, it definitely does. Yeah, I mean, he's got a slight angle. He's going to really have to get into it if he's going to try and bang that across. But
yeah,
it was a risk to go into that ball.
It was.
Yeah, he's played it nice.
Played that really well. Left a nice angle as well.
It's almost like a Phil Harrison shake of the head there, where your perfect next shot.
So Sean Chipperfield, as I say, makes another final. Congratulations to him. He's got one more obstacle to cross through, and that's either going to be Declan Brennan or Clint Jansen.
It was a gripping finish to the Clint Jansen and Phil Harrison game. It was a 6-4 up, wasn't it?
Absolutely amazing. I saw Phil probably half an hour after that match finished. He had his bag on his shoulder and he was exiting the hotel. And he made a comment and said, "Well, I bottled that, didn't I?" And I said, "Well, no, I don't think you did, Phil. Clint played well, but he also had a bit of fortune in that deciding frame when."
Oh, wow.
Oh, goodness me, I can't believe that. Can't believe that. Yeah, sorry, just saying that he had a big stroke of luck in that last frame where he's he's almost played a brilliant shot trying to play his ball off a ball into the middle. He's had to take an attacking option. He's taken like 3 or 4 minutes over the shot because he just doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, I didn't have a clue what he should do either on commentary. It was just
there wasn't much to go out, was there?
No. So he's been forced into playing an attacking shot, missed it, and in missing it, I mean, he could have just easily left dollies for Phil, but the last ball came to rest over the top of one of Phil's, and that proved to be the decisive factor. Phil made a small error trying to put his ball off the back of the red down there, and then suddenly it was Clint taking advantage by getting the ball over the pocket and ultimately won the match. It really was a great game.
Andy Williams, Ross Stern on table 2. We are not using Q scores, but please just let the top table know the results. Andy Williams, Ross Stern on table 2. Joe Warren, Richard Gifford, table 3. Anthony Massoud, Ben Anderson, table 4. Shane Thompson, Aki Khan, table 5. Vivek Mack, Neil Thomas, table 6. Sorry. Table 7, Josh Kane, Christian Disney. 7, Josh Kane, Christian Disney.
What a huge miss
Table 8,
that black could prove to be. What do you put that down to? Just lack of concentration?
It's hard to say. I suppose it's a long day, give him benefit of the doubt, and maybe he's just lost a bit of concentration on that one, but he won't be happy with that. That'll hurt him, that one.
Conversely, Declan will be absolutely delighted to even get that chance.
And he took him out so well there, Declan, as well, because it was still a tricky finish that he had to take out.
Landis Kuprick, Elliot Coon, 12. Landis Kelly on 12. Dean Wilson, Josh Goodrum on 13. Gaz Royds, Andy Tedds on 14. Steve McHenry, David Stock on 15. Daniel Bishop, Tyler Hunt on 16. Waiting for Lee Briscoe on 17. And we'll get the rest of the matches on when we can. Smith's going at the top table know the result. We're not using Q score, we're just letting top table know. Thank you.
So Decky a little bit frustrated. He never really gives much away, but a bit of a personal ellipse there you can show. But, he was frustrated because he knows that he's got Clint on the run here, and if he makes a ball off that break and finds some kind of clearance, then he really is in command of this match. I mean, that's gone really well, but that could have gone wrong.
Yeah, it definitely could. But like I say, it has turned out quite nice.
I wonder if that ball that's on the left-hand side near the bulk line is going to cause him a bit of a problem. He can take it now. He's perfect on it now, but it's a kind of lone ball. It doesn't really link up with anything else, and getting position on it. When I say he's on it, getting position on the next ball off of it is not exactly straightforward.
It's really if he could top it through, off the top rail and back down, so he's on those two at the top end of the table, and then it'd be quite a straightforward finish. But see, he's trying to maybe screw it past. Looking at that.
Yeah, you felt the nudge onto the red was inevitable, but actually it's probably helped his situation. It's given him the perfect angle on the one to middle, just to bounce off the cushion and then play the other one near the bulk line. And this should be fairly straightforward. Getting on the black is pretty simple. He's got the ball to left centre, which just naturally feeds onto the 8 ball. So a couple of people have mentioned the picture quality. Just to let you guys know that due to the amount of use on YouTube over lockdown, YouTube now default to a really low picture quality setting. I think if you have a look, it's probably set at 360. It's in your it's within your gift to be able to change that. You'll see 3 dots, I think, on the top right of your screen. If you click on that, and you can then look at I think it's picture quality. You go to advanced, and it will allow you to change the quality to 1080. So if you choose the highest quality available to you, it will sharpen your picture right up. It just means that you're watching it currently in a really low resolution, and that's the output that we're giving you is really good quality. It has been all weekend. I'm watching it on the screen at the moment, and I can tell you it's really good. But you just need to change your resolution so it's your end rather than ours. A few people have noticed it over the weekend, but it is a YouTube thing. As I say, it just comes from the fact that so many people have been using YouTube throughout lockdown that they've defaulted everything to a really low setting.
Is Ricky Goal in the room? Ricky Goal. You play Matt, first and 3, yeah? Table 18.
Incidentally, while you're there fiddling with your settings, please do click on the thumbs up. So, break from Clint Ianson.
You notice a change of break there from Clint.
Yeah.
Top ball break, got right through him. Nice split. I think after going off the table, he's probably thought, I'm not risking that again.
Yeah. You can see the frustration, wears his heart on his sleeve, and frustration, and that he had a very good opportunity just a few minutes ago, and now he's going to have to conjure something up because he's totally run out of position. There is a gap between red and yellow, but I don't think he can get the cue ball through there. Probably can only go cushion first. Oh no, actually, he can get through to the potting angle of this one. Didn't look like he could. From this angle, it doesn't look like he could, but when you look on the overhead, he clearly can. But he missed it. In control of the frame though, Matt.
Yeah, well and truly in control, because I don't think Deck has really got much of a first shot though. I think with Deck, with the way he's playing, you know, if he had a first pot and he could get into position, you'd still fancy him to have a good go at those, but he's not really got anything to go at. This is looking very much like Clint's last shot against Phil, where he's going to have to take a lot of time to suss this one out. Going for a very thin chip into the corner, maybe.
Yeah. Small second prize.
Yeah.
The yellow's gone across the path of the red, so that just causes Clint a bit of a problem. Gives him something to think about.
And he's just making sure here.
Yeah.
Complete control now.
And you think in a tactical battle, Clint probably just slightly more experienced.
Yep.
He's brought up on world rules, although they haven't been his native rule set for a good few years. He does have a history of them. Came up through the junior ranks playing world rules.
Yeah, I've got no doubt he's got far more exposure to it than Deck has, really. And to be honest, in the position he's in here, it takes some turning around for Deck.
Yeah, he's tried to put the yellow on top of the red, but he's just put it next to it. And Clint, with all the time he needs, he's only got one difficult red, and he can develop that as and when he requires. Don't think he'll be pushing the boat out yet. He'll probably want to just do something with the red near the top cushion. May take this ball now over right corner, just because it's not doing him great service. It doesn't help his cause much, but if Declan gets a ball across it, it could cause him a problem. So
I imagine he's going for it here. I'd imagine he's going to play the 3-ball plant now.
Do you think?
Yeah, try and get the yellow out of the way and go for it.
good shout, good spot, and yeah. I mean, they were certainly there. I just wondered if he would feel that he'd wait for a slightly better opportunity, but
Yeah.
I should say that 3-ball plant, the way he played it, it came out really well.
I think with the way things have gone, I think Clint's probably going to be the happiest person at 4-all, really.
Interestingly, somebody's suggesting that the event needs to bring a shot clock in, but considering the players have been playing for just shy of 35 minutes, they've already completed 8 frames, less than 5 minutes a frame. I don't think that's too bad a pace, is it?
No, it's not bad going. I don't think any of them are really taking too long.
No. 1 or 2 shots when Clint has to take time to think about the path he wants to take, then he takes the time, but neither player taking very long. I thought the match had been going at a fair old lick so far.
Tracking close to that corner pocket again.
Yes,
Just managed to avoid it this time.
Yeah. Interesting layout. My first instinct was yellows, but I guess it depends on whether he thinks he can manufacture the plant on yellows to the left corner. Reds are a bit awkward as well, aren't they? There's one on the top cushion and the 2 that are tied up next to those 2 yellows I just mentioned. So what's your preference here?
Tough one to call. I'd say probably yellows, but like I say, it is all about that plant. And you'd have to realistically probably pot that ball over the top corner, come down, take the one that's sort of middle of the table and get yourself nice onto that plant. It's all about whether you can find a place where you can play the plant and get on the next ball nicely. Still don't think he's made his mind up as yet. Well, it's not his best positional shot, that's for sure.
No, he hit that much thicker than I think he wanted to. He's looking to hit it kind of quarter ball and track the cue ball down below the bulk line, but he hit it more half ball and killed the cue ball.
You do tend to find that when you're sort of a little bit undecided on the shot, still sort of weighing up which ones to take, and you find yourself getting a little loose with a white ball.
It's good cueing though. I think he's left a nice line through to this plant, but I don't know.
Doesn't look happy.
It doesn't look happy. Maybe just wanted to finish a couple of inches higher. I think he can still get through to the angle, but I guess he's worried about where the cue ball tracks and where the yellow tracks. That was what he was worried about, and you can see there was a nod of his head as if to say, yeah, knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, it's just the way he had to play it. He had to play it with the bottom left just to swerve it into it to get the plant, and unfortunately it was always going to take his white down the table a little bit.
So a few mistakes have crept in to his game. He's been very, very solid and reliable right the way throughout the event so far, but just Clint will be buoyed by these few mistakes. Can't see much here either. There's no attacking option. You can't even play the thin double back into middle because there's a red in the path. And I think that's exactly the thoughts that are going through his mind as he puts a kind of resigned hand up in the air to say, what have I got? I mean, sometimes you can find something particularly creative, but I don't really see anything here.
No, seeing absolutely nothing here.
Maybe just has to take his medicine and cut that yellow as thin as he can and try and get it into the path of the reds, just somewhere down over this this right-hand corner pocket, and just buy himself another visit. The problem is, with only 2 yellows left on the table, Clint's got all of his chess pieces in play, and Clint can really put some pain on Declan. It's not even a cocked hat, and that's what he's done. He's just played a shot, just trying to leave the yellow touching the red as well, just to make sure Clint could get at one of these 2 reds.
It's about as good as he could have done, I think, realistically. There.
Yeah. It makes Clint's safety shot a little bit more tricky as well, doesn't it? If the yellow was, if the cue ball was a couple of inches to the left-hand side, he'd have a simple shot to run the cue ball up table, and Declan in trouble. He can still just glance off of this red. Has to hit a cushion. Has to hit a cushion. Just.
Yeah, he's actually caught it just a little bit thicker than what he wanted to do. Turned into a bit of a wild lash there from Deck, going for a bit of an outrageous double, I think. These are all there now for Clint.
Don't forget that the final will be played out tomorrow, scheduled for 11 AM. It's going to be Sean Chipperfield against the winner of this game. Please make sure you set your alarms, or if you've subscribed to the channel, then you will get a notification from us when we go live, so we can do the work for you. But, whatever happens, don't forget, because that should be a great final, whichever one of these get through. Final was scheduled for tonight. It was due to start at 10:30, but obviously things have got ahead of us, which they sometimes do on this tour. It only takes one slower match, and this one started way later than it should have done. What a turnaround this has been for Clint, and taken all the chances that are coming his way. This, of course, a race to 8. There have been races to 7 so far. Changes in the semi-final to a race to 8.
Yeah, we were talking about Declan potentially running away with it at 3-1, and Clint's obviously got other ideas. He's been taking his chances well. The chances have been there for Deck, but just not quite on the same form that he was in the quarterfinals.
So Declan just, in fact, both players, no, Declan stepped away. Sorry, Clint's set up the balls. I think Declan's just gone for a quick bathroom break, so we'll do the same. Back in a moment. So back with the action. And,
Back on table 7, Matt Barcock, James Thompson, table 7.
Declan breaks.
Matt Shea on 7.
Apologies. It was just in conversation. Clint broke and went in off. So Declan ball in hand.
Yeah, he really needs to make the most of this one now, Declan. He's lost the last 3. Needs to stop the rot here.
On top of the black is going to need moving, unless it needs moving. That may well pass into bottom left. Always looks like, from this camera angle, it always looks like it's on top of a ball, but yeah, I think there's probably, in hindsight, yeah, there's a half an inch gap between the two, so he could land on it.
Peter Mullaney. Table 5, Peter Mullaney.
I won't be happy with that one.
No.
Assuming that yellow near the red must go into the middle, because I mean otherwise he'd have just nudged into it on that shot then.
Adam Masood Glencar, table 3.
I wonder if, do you think the yellow still passes to left centre, the one just above the 8 ball? I'm just thinking that if he could land just off straight on the one to bottom left, he could. It doesn't. You can see from there. He could have ran up into the red and taken that yellow across into left centre. But and that shows the importance of that nudge earlier, because that when he takes this ball, that yellow would have passed into the left centre. I think that clearance would have been on.
Yeah, I was quite surprised with his first shot that he maybe didn't just try and screw down to the bottom of the table and just try and open that up, use the ball that's towards the bottom right to open the black and yellow up.
Oh dear.
Match on table 4.
That's not good.
Caught the knuckle and now playing from the cushion with very little angle to work with.
The only thing I could see here is that he's just going to try and really dig into it. Just try and bounce the black out and hope that it lands on the yellow into the middle.
Well, another missed chance.
Yep.
Clint having gone in off from the break. Don't think he would have expected to get back to the table, but he does. I think he's made more mistakes in this game than he has done in his last few matches.
Clint's played that with the full intention of just bouncing this off the rail and a nice tight snooker now.
And no point trying anything else. Always just a tiny bit of risk when your opponent has a ball near a pocket that you could find something, but finding a path through to that ball at the moment is going to be the difficulty for Declan.
Yeah, I think you missed a shot of the weekend earlier on when I was commentating on the Eddie Barker game. In the deciding frame, Eddie has pulled out an absolutely amazing shot. It was very similar to this, but sort of like the reverse of the table. And he's basically bounced it off the back rail and swerved it full length down into the yellow that was over the pocket. And yeah, it was an absolute superb shot. Looked like it was possibly going to win him the match. Left him a tricky long black to about half a bag, and he missed the black. Just gave Carl the chance he needed.
Deliberate foul. Probably not the worst option given what he had available to him, but maybe could have just played that with, I don't know, couldn't have played it too far down the table, could you? Because there is space behind that yellow.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably about as good as he could have done. And a clever shot as well, actually, because he's not left anything for Clint to go at. He's left him nothing on the right, nothing on the left, so well, bit of a risk there.
Yeah, it was always going to be a tricky one, that, for him, for what sort of safety option he'd have next. I think he's just thought, I'm going to go for this and try and open them all up. And to be honest, he has. He's given himself a chance.
Yep. That's a good double.
Oh, very nice.
What's he got now? Does the...
He's very tight on whether that red will pass to the bottom right.
Don't think it does. He's obviously got the one down the cushion, but that is tricky.
He was obviously hoping to clear the pocket a bit more, but even then I'm not sure that those reds would have passed.
No. He's got the one down the rail, and under normal circumstances he'd love to get lower down the table to be able to then take the red to left centre, but the black's too close to that, so he's going to have to come back out the top of these two balls. Still a bit of a testy finish.
Table 2, Christy Caulfield, Adam Toms, table 2.
Miss. And, well, he's Declan just looking to see whether the yellow passes into left centre. I'm pretty sure it does. If it doesn't, then he has an angle he can screw back into the black and yellow and try and develop, but we'll find out now.
Just not giving it enough there.
No. But does he have a double?
Yeah, double to the top pocket maybe, but it'd be very tight if he has got it.
Yeah, it's close.
I think it'd be one of those you'd have to flick it in with a lot of bottom rights.
Table 13, Steve McHenry, Daniel Bishop, please. Table 13.
Cushion first. Looking at the yellow to middle.
Glenn Carr, take a call for Glenn Carr, please.
There's the path you can see. Problem is with this shot, he's only going to leave at best a double on the black.
Yeah.
Even if he makes this, expect him to go fairly close.
Oh, where's it going?
Was
Nope.
it? No. Well, he was on the 8 ball. Close to his work, but straight to the bottom corner. It's going to serve no purpose whatsoever because Clint now
Adam Toms, table 2.
with
Adam
a
Toms.
super chance to go 2 frames ahead. And this really has been a huge swing in this match. And Declan just seems to have run out of steam at the moment. It is a long day today. You've got to say it is a long, long day. Players started at 9 AM this morning, and they've been back-to-back playing in this and the Jason Owen, and of course Declan is in both of those events, so he's been playing all the way throughout the day, and now at 20 minutes to midnight. It's been a long day for him. He's put in a lot of frames, a lot of focus, a lot of concentration, and it can take its toll, and it just looks like maybe fatigue.
Yeah, I think so. But there's still time to turn it around as yet.
Yeah, there is.
It's by no means out of it.
Yeah, 8-4 always. Sorry, 6-4 always looks like the player's very much in it, but when you put it into context, Declan has to win 4-1 from here, and that's a it's a big ask.
Big ask.
Everything needs to go his way. Needs to dig deep, and
that's not going to help him.
Isn't that just typical? Been breaking so well all weekend, and suddenly when he needs it the most, it fails him.
Well, he's got various options here, Clint. I mean, the easiest of which will be to put the yellow over the bottom left pocket and maybe try and flick out the yellow on the right hand side near the red. I think if he gets that out, that's very good for making this. Should still be okay. There's a little bit hampered, but he's got a nice angle to drop the yellow into the top left and land on the one at the top end of the table into the middle pocket. Well, he must have felt he didn't have the angle, so he's gone for the breakout shot, and it's gone about as bad as it could have done there, really. He does still have an option for a back double. If he could make that, he could possibly get back into a reasonable position, but it's certainly not what he would have been wanting. Declan will just be sitting there just praying for a chance in this frame. His reds aren't great, but he'll just be hoping for any opportunity.
If anyone wants to practice on the outside tables in the side rooms or by the bar, they're more than welcome to. Using this room for the flyer, you're more than welcome to use the outside room to practice on if you want to.
It's a nice shot from Clint, especially because he can leave himself low on this yellow that's in the middle of the back rail. Then he could just float in behind the yellow at the top end of the table. Quite a natural angle if he gets himself low on this one. Yeah, that looks pretty perfect. Yeah, that's nice. I wonder whether it goes maybe to the bottom left. It'd certainly help him if it did. If not, he's going to have a thin chip into the middle.
No, I don't think don't think it does go long. He's
You think the black's blocking it?
yeah, looking at his face.
Yeah.
He's got a big smile on his face, and I don't think it's a happy smile.
Yeah, a little wry smile there. He's just overhit that one a little then. He was very nice on his second last ball.
There can't be much in it. That black can only just be in the path.
To me, that looks like it sneaks past. I think maybe the smile's more just the cueing that he's got on it.
Yeah, maybe. I agree. That looks like it goes.
It looks like he's going for it into the middle. I mean, I suppose the one thing maybe he's looking at is if he was to take it into that corner, would it be going in off in the middle? And he can't do much with the white, so maybe he's looking at the cut back into the middle instead.
Shot. There's the cue ball. It's just
doesn't get any easier.
No. Well, I think he's only got one shot here, and thin cut, top left pocket.
Yeah, it's a big shot.
Looking at everything, he's looking at the options for a double, but that red right in the way of that path, I'm sure. There's not that much in it. If the red was just an inch lower, I think the double would be on, but yeah. He's resigned to the fact that he's now looking at the angle. This is a thin cut. Tough shot. Huge shot too. Difference between.
Bob Love in the room. Bob Love in the room.
Yeah, I was going to say the difference between 7-4 and 6-5 at this point in the match is a massive difference.
Yeah, well, I don't see anything to trouble Declan here, so I think we could pretty much scratch up the 6-5 now. But it has been a while since he's got a frame on the board, and it gets tougher every one you go behind.
Yeah, across to play the one up the rail now. Then he can use the other red in bulk to get back down the table. In fact, he's going to play this one to the left now. I'm not sure that's the one he played on. Could be, but felt like he played on the one on the left-hand side to then transition down, but that works equally as well. Nice finish. Just one frame in it.
Yes, Clint, I'll be hoping for a big break now just to make amends for that, because it was a little bit loose really on his second last ball.
Steve, top table. Vivek, you win.
Decky will be over the moon that he got that chance, and now pulls back to within one because he was staring down the barrel of Clint getting on the hill. The longer he can keep him off that hill, the better. And pressure on this break now. Playing from the centre. Oh.
He flirted with that middle pocket then.
Yes, indeed he did.
And how do you like them?
Wow. The difference between going in off there and the cue ball staying on the table is going to be this frame, because these reds, I think even I'd get these. Actually, that's probably taking it a bit far, to be honest.
Let's not go too far.
No, no. I retract that statement. It's been a long day, and I'm getting delirious, so I'm just getting ahead of myself.
Match on table 2 in the flyer. Lee Briscoe, Steve Morris. Lee Briscoe, Steve Morris, table 2.
Just a little straighter than he would have liked there on that one, but I don't think this black's going to trouble him much.
Yeah, when he stood at the end of the table, ready to break this frame, that was exactly the layout that he would have hoped for. No problems, just a simple clearance. And Declan would have loved to have seen some kind of cluster or some kind of work for Clint to do. But, well, he really does have to take all his chances now, because Clint answers on the hill. The scoreline is 7 frames to 5, and Clint is now a big favourite to join Sean Chipperfield in the final.
Yeah, it's unusual actually, because Clint had made a mistake in the frame before, and as a general rule you tend to get punished for that, but he was quite fortunate on this occasion.
Jake McCartney just in shot there on the right hand side with the bobble hat on his head. Just say happy birthday to him. It's his birthday in just 10 minutes time. Wow.
I believe the clocks go back as well, don't they, tonight, so he get an extra hour in bed.
Yeah. Well, get an extra hour at the bar. I can't see him. I can't see him seeing his bed much tonight, to be honest. That's Jake could be over the moon. He's got the opportunity to get an extra hour in. That guy can drink. I wouldn't fancy going toe to toe with him. He can sing.
This up, can he?
Oh.
He's got a nice chance here for the match. It's not straightforward, but it's a definite chance.
Yeah, you got to above the right centre. Possibly squeezes in off the red. Or maybe... maybe needs to develop it.
Oh, he's gone for the development.
Well, luckily for him, that red, yellow stayed over the pocket.
Yeah, and it's not left anything easy. So just come back enough. I think he must have the way that he's lining his cue up.
Yeah, yep.
Next match on table 4, Josh Kane, Peter Mullaney. Josh Kane, Peter Mullaney, table 4. Lee Briscoe, where's Lee Briscoe?
I think the key shot's coming up now.
Yeah, he's got an angle. He could play the one farthest to the right. Probably play the middle one as well, but
Well, that's worked out quite nice, actually.
it is, yeah.
It could have gone a lot worse than that with the way they caught it.
He's shaking his head, but I think, has he not got an angle on the one to middle now, just to get up into the right?
I'm not sure he has to get into it, but
Maybe
what he could do is maybe push his white through and then take the one that's below it to the other middle and screw back onto it.
Yeah, yep.
And he's going low and then taking the one to the corner.
Table 5.
The only slight difficulty with taking it that way is the fact that if he'd gone the other way, the one that he's taking now would have been a nice, easy shot afterwards, whereas now he's going to have to make sure that he gets somewhere where he can get out.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, had he taken a few extra seconds, he may have seen that pattern. It's pretty good though, he's left the right angle.
Yeah.
This is a top quality finish under all kinds of pressure, and well, that's one missed opportunity to seal the deal for Clint Jansen. He will be back to the table. But, he's got the break in the next.
Yeah, that's very nicely done from Deck, and they'll just be praying that Clint doesn't get a break like the last one.
Trouble is, at 7-6, quite feasibly, if this goes wrong for Clint, could be his last shot in the match.
Yeah.
It's ironic how
quick it can change.
Yeah. I think from a neutral's perspective, I'd love to see a decider. Declan's team would love to see a decider, but in Clint's half of the room, I'll be more than happy to see this end right now. Cue ball. Oh, was that cue ball tracking?
Looked very close, didn't he? I think he's avoided it again there.
Let's have a look at this. That cue ball looked like it was heading. Oh my gosh, it was heading straight to the pocket.
It's a superb split again. He might have just made it a little trickier now. Looks like he's going to have to go for this one at the bottom end of the table next.
Yeah, having to put in some travelling with the cue ball is never ideal. It's going to have to take, as you say, the one to bottom left now, bring the cue ball back up. He's trying to work out exactly which order to take them in at the top of the table. Is if he makes this red and gets prime position, it should be frame ball, but
that's very nice.
yeah, judge that cannon well. So really, the only thing that can go wrong from here is if something goes awry with his plant and he ties up these reds somehow. But well, was the only thing. I think he's still okay. Just for a second, they looked like they were going to go awkward, but it's not as easy as it could have been, but should still be okay. He's going to have to take the plant now. Can't leave it till last. Yeah. All over. You would think. Only a big deceleration or a kick or something along those lines will get in the way, but you can't see it. Another good game though, Matt.
Yeah, it's been a very good game. Yeah, it's quite surprising the way that it turned. Declan looked so solid early on, looked like he was just going to continue the form that he'd been in all day. And then just the odd chance slipped away, and Clint has looked superb since then.
Very nice from Clint and he makes another final, and we'll see him in action tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. He will be playing against Sean Chipperfield, and another good run there from Declan Brennan, just falling short of the mark, but another good deep run he can take a lot of confidence from. Thanks for joining me in that one, Matt.
Yeah, thanks, Nick.
We're going to pop over to the interview room and just catch a couple of words with Clint, but that wraps up the action for today. We'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. with the final. See you then. Clint, from what I've seen of Declan this weekend, he looked on in really dominant form right the way through to this stage. And at 3-1, it kind of resembled the same match as Lee Kendall. You thought just for a second there was a moment he could run away with it. Then the mistakes started to creep in, and a great performance from you overall.
Yeah, I didn't start very well. I weren't nervous. I think I'm just tired more than anything, because obviously it started today at like 9 a.m. for me, and it's like the final started about 10:30 maybe, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's like a 13.5-hour day already, crazy. Like before the final. I'm just tired, but with no excuses. I missed a couple of silly shots, played a couple of silly shots, but I think that kind of rubbed off onto him a little bit. Because like you say, he was 3-1 up and he looked like he was playing well, and then he made a couple of silly mistakes which he probably wouldn't usually make, probably out of tiredness as well. I'm not sure.
Of course, I mean, you let the ball off the table, then you went in off on another break, and you think he would have taken those chances, but I think both of those frames went your way. So
oh, really?
Yeah, they were. I mean, they were key frames. Yeah. Certainly the in off did. I think the one off the table.
Yeah,
did as well.
I think the one where he jumped the white off the table, where I jumped the white off the table. I think he cleared that one, but the other one I don't.
Yeah,
think
the other
he
one.
cleared.
No, he didn't. Yeah, but I mean, you've got to take a lot of away from that final. I mean, it really was a solid performance. Now one more to go. Sean Chipperfield in the final.
Okay, I didn't realise who I had to be honest. I feel well. Tomorrow's a different day, so
of course, yeah.
I mean, I feel like I played pretty well all day, bar that game, and I don't feel like I played well at all there. But I thought I was quite lucky to a couple of occasions, lucky to win the match really, because I think probably Deck made less mistakes than me. But obviously it's happened to me, it's happened to everyone. So when it comes your way, you got to take it with both hands, I suppose.
Yeah. But here we are. It's another final, and get yourself a good night's sleep, and reset again, isn't it? And go again tomorrow.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to sleep well. That is for certain. I'm knackered.
Me too,
and hopefully wake up tomorrow and play like I did earlier on today. Because if I play like that, I think I'll win. So.
Yeah. Well, best of luck tomorrow, Clint.
Cheers.
See you then. Cheers, mate. So that concludes the action for today. We're back tomorrow with that final at 11 o'clock. Please do join us. See you then.
Next match on table 13, Dean Wilson, Gaz Royd. Dean Wilson, Gaz Royd, table 13.